adult non-pros who are lawyers and doctors and dentists and moms and dads. And we have professionals who want to do more work and aren't necessarily in front of huge audiences anymore.
Today I am going to share with you 5 nuggets of rock and roll wisdom. Stick with me on this. Remember jamming in your parents' basement when you were a kid? For me, that was the late 70s, and my friends actually renamed my basement Terry's Blue Note Lounge. It was hilarious. But it was a lot of fun, and it was a great feeling, and we actually convinced the Toronto Star to actually do an article on this scene that was building. It was amazing. That was a lot of years ago. Today, I don't know how many years later that it is, we have this League of Rock rolling, and it is quite an amazing community in Toronto and in Ottawa. You know, by the time you become 19 or 20 or 30, you know, you start to focus on career and family and other important distractions, and it takes you away from a very important creative outlet. And it's really important that you not feel that guilt, you know. Today we are at the Rehearsal Factory, and come with me, and I'll show you where the League of Rock makes its home in Toronto. In Ottawa, we actually do it at Soundcheck Studios. So every Wednesday night, you know, for 8 Wednesdays, 4 times a year, you'll find a huge community of adults jamming and preparing for the Week 9 recording sessions. In Toronto, we do it at Phase 1 Studios. In Ottawa, we do it at Audio Valley. 2 amazing studios. So come on inside and I'll show you around. So we have been doing this for over 9 years, and almost 3,000 folks have joined. You know, it is an amazing bunch of people, and 50% rejoin, you know, on an annual basis. So what that means is we've got glue. We've got a really cool community of people that are always in these sessions. New folks benefit from the returning folks, and the returning folks benefit from the new blood in the room. It's an amazing group, you know. It's kind of like these are the high school music friends I lost along the way, right? So what does it take, you know, to build a band, right? To get it rolling, to survive the egos and the fights, you know, and choose the right songs, you know, prepare for a recording session and put together a kick-ass show, right? It's safe to say over 9 years we have picked up a few, you know, nuggets of rock and roll wisdom. And it's not just that, that wisdom that we're going to share with you. It's also the wisdom of our coaches that we're going to share with you. You know, they come out on a weekly basis and give us some great nuggets, right? You know, proudly, we've got some amazing musicians that come out every week. Terry Brown, he's a great producer, produced most of the most important Rush records. You know, Eric Schenkman, he's a wicked guitar player, comes out of the Spin Doctors. We've got Jim McCarty, the founding drummer of the Yardbirds. He brought in Jeff Beck, Eric Clapton, and Jimmy Page. You know, we've got an amazing guitar player in Mark Anatakis. He was with Nelly Furtado and Ashley McIsaac. We've got some great people. You know, Susie Vinnick, you know, an incredible artist in her own right. One of the best singers in Canada, I think. You know, Mika Barnes was in the famed Nylons.
In our nation's capital, we have Ottawa's best musicians coaching us too. Along with our head coach, Dick Cooper, we've got Brian Cooper and Darwin Demers from the famed Cooper Brothers Band. We have Les Emerson from the 5-man electrical band. He wrote that song, Signs, Signs, Everywhere Signs. One of those songs that will live forever. An incredible singer, Rebecca Noel, coaches us, along with Peter Fredette from Kim Mitchell's band and a host of other road-proven greats.
We've got some really great coaches that come in week to week that share their experiences with us. It's an amazing bunch of people. You know, if you join the League of Rock, there's no doubt you will pick up a lot of information and a lot of stuff that will, you know, you'll carry into your own life as well. It's a very good journey.
No, you're getting it. No, it's working. Unfortunately, the drummer has the most responsibility in this whole band, right? You're the backbone, man.
The members love Michael White.
That was way better. Okay.
He's been in the trenches for a long time in the Canadian music scene and has a lot to say. Known as Canada's best Led Zeppelin cover band, Michael White and the White.
Keep on rocking.
As we move along, if you decide you'd like to join one of our sessions, please click the link below. There's lots of information, tons of sharing, lots of musicians you'll meet, and of course we are going to dramatically reduce the session rates for those who join the webinar. Please give the link a click and we'll see you there. Okay, so on to tip number 1. Know how to compromise. Just a little bit of rock and roll wisdom that will perhaps get you into that band and hopefully keep you in that band. It amazes me how many hundreds of people have come through and how many hundreds of bands we've put together. It's a little bit different when you're auditioning for a band, and you're trying to be on your best behavior and trying to, get that coveted spot.
It's been a pleasure to be part of the League of Rock, and the reason that I wanted to be a part of the League is because of the pleasure and the joy that I've gotten out of this. My life's changed dramatically in the last year, specifically because of the League. And I want everybody else to feel what I feel when I get up on this stage. It's just so much pleasure.
When you finally get that coveted spot, and you find out that the bass player is some egomaniac or the drummer is, thinks he's a musical director, right? It's really all about the desire, right? The more you want to be in a band, the longer you search, the more that desire builds, and the more chance you have of reducing your needs and compromising. So what I'm suggesting is you need to understand how to compromise and what you're willing to compromise before you walk in that room. What's cool about the League of Rock is that there is compromise built into our process. People learn how to give up things and compromise, and they learn what's most important to them before they walk in the door. Even at our kickoff, there is tons of conversation and there's tons of compromise even before the musicians meet. It is an amazing bit of learning that you'll gain. And if you do it, you'll stay in that band longer, and you may even get the spot that you thought you wouldn't.
I have learned more about being in a band than I really could have imagined, and I feel like I've gone from playing the drums to being a drummer, and it's given me the confidence to know that I can get behind a kit with a bunch of people that I don't know, keep a beat, and pull it off, and it's been a life-changing experience.
So we're going to keep the nuggets rolling, I promise, so stick with me. But if you feel like you want to join one of our sessions, click the link below and join our next webinar. It'll give you all the information you need. But it's a great community of people online. There's tons of info. You'll learn a bunch, but we are reducing the fee dramatically for those that join our webinar. So please, give it a shot. All right, on to tip number 2. Submarine mates. I've had the honor of working with Reeves Gabrels a few times, and he is an amazing guitar player. But more importantly, he spent 15 years working with David Bowie on tour and writing with him. And I asked him this question. I said to him, Reeves, how did you get from being a great guitar player to making the leap and being a great guitar player working with some of the best that there is? And he had a very simple answer. Be easy to live with. Imagine living with someone on a submarine for 6 months. If you don't want to live with them, it's not going to happen. So what I'm thinking here is that was a very good little nugget of information, for all those great guitar players out there, don't take yourself too seriously. Have a good sense of humor, be easy to live with, and imagine living with someone on a submarine for 6 months. You know what I'm talking about.
Recording in the League of Rock is definitely like a rapid-fire experience. 0 to Mach 1 in no time flat.
You want a ride thing?
They get 4 hours to lay down a track. It's live off the floor with a little bit of overdubbing. You walk out of there with a fully mixed track, and you really get to feel the pressure and the flow.
I think you've really hit the spot of people in their very, very late 30s who were in a band in high school. And then life happens and you get older and you get married and you have kids and you get jobs. And when I heard about the League of Rock, I thought, I don't know, could I do this? Could I actually play in a band?
All right, I like to say that I created the League of Rock, to meet the music friends I lost along the way. When you join the League, you will meet an amazing bunch of people, and the relationships are fabulous. You'll be challenged in ways you've never been challenged, that's a promise, and you'll do music in ways you never thought you would. If you think you want to join the League, please click the link below and join our next webinar. It'll give you all the information you need. You'll meet tons of people, there's lots of information, but most importantly, we are dramatically reducing the rates for those that join our webinar. So please join us.
Terry Brown. I'm a newcomer to this, got involved with the League of Rock and critiqued the final performance of the finished 8 songs. It was a good experience.
For the next 10 weeks, they will create and argue and fight and play and drink and celebrate and record and perform some songs that they've never done before with people they've never met before in an environment they've never been in before. On to tip number 3. Pretend you are a session player, right? Session players have a very unique set of skills, which are very different from dudes who spend, all their years in one band, right? The idea is that session players have the benefit of rotation, right? They experience a myriad of different requests all the time. They have to deliver fast. They get good very quick because of all of this rotation, right? So the League of Rock was built on this premise. The idea is you can blow up a band every 10 weeks, meet new people, keep the challenges rotating, and if you do this, your chops will go through the roof. The idea is to change the challenges, change the people, keep it moving, and the idea is from there you'll get better much quicker. The LOR is like a rock and roll boot camp. We move you through very quickly. It's super fun, but it's like full contact music. If you want to give it a try, please click the link below and join our next webinar. There's tons of information, as I've said earlier, but most importantly, we are going to reduce the rates dramatically for those who join our webinar. So please give it a click and join us. All right, tip number 4, don't be afraid to blow up the song. It really is about meeting new people and doing art in new ways and challenging yourself to try things you wouldn't normally do, If you adopt an attitude that you're not afraid to blow up the song or the band, if it's not working, right, then you'll reach heights that you never thought possible, right? This really pushes the band forward very quickly. It helps you zero in on great material, right? It also gives you a skill in other parts of your life, right? If you understand how not to waste time on things which don't bear fruit, it will pay off in so many ways. Get out of the basement and jump on the stage with us. It's easy, I promise. There's no rock star attitude. There's no BS. And if you click the link below and join us in our next webinar, we are going to reduce the rates like mad for those that do join us from the webinar. All right, you'll meet lots of people. I promise it's real easy. It's a very generous room, but you'll have an awful lot of fun. I promise.
We all equally want to be successful and help each other grow. And I think that's the really key thing is it's inviting. It's in a format that really lends itself to making mistakes, growing, learning. Nobody's coming in and saying, hi, I'm a prima donna, I've been playing 20 years. What do you guys know? None of that. It's really just figuring out what makes sense for everybody.
Okay, on to the 5th nugget of rock and roll wisdom. Know your wheelhouse. Now, Jimmy knew his wheelhouse. He knew what his limitations were. Not that he had very many, but he knew what they were. In life they say know your limitations. In music it's the same thing, knowing really what fits with your style, knowing your voice, knowing your instrument, knowing what your ability is, right? And how far you can go, right? If you know this in advance, when you get together with musicians, it'll take very little time to get to the material that fits, right? For vocalists, it's crucial to know in what keys you sing best. For guitar players, it's important to be able to transpose from key to key. For drummers, it's incredibly important to know many different rhythm styles and be able to get to them quickly, right? If you can draw on these tricks, then it'll get you into a band quickly, and it'll keep you in that band. They have now wrapped up. They've had a chance to go through every single aspect of being in a band And tonight was crazy. They've come through 10 weeks now, and this performance was extremely exhilarating. But the reason it was exhilarating was because they fought, they argued, they explored, they looked inside themselves. They did a lot more than just jam and play music. And so this framework gives them a chance to do some self-exploration.
If you have a few tricks in your bag, it'll take you a long way. The League of Rock will get you up the curve very quickly, and it'll give you a couple of tricks. If you feel like joining, please click the link below and join us. The webinar is going to be very cool. There's a bunch of folks online. You'll learn a ton. And of course, we are, as I've said earlier, we are dramatically reducing the rates for those who join our webinars. So please click the link and join us. Okay, tip number 6. Pretend it's your career, right? Even if you're in this band for recreation, doesn't matter. Never be late. Always be the first to arrive. Always be prepared. Right? Always do your homework. Never treat rehearsals like music lessons. When you come to a rehearsal, be prepared to play. If you do this, people will love you. They'll want you in their band, and you'll be in that band for a very long time. If you come prepared and you come early, your bandmates will value your membership. If you are not prepared and you come late, it's a fast track to being kicked out of the band. Trust me, you do not want to be kicked out of your own band. If you want to join us, please click the link below. We'll give you lots of information. There's tons more to come. You'll meet lots of musicians. It's a lot of fun. And of course, as I said earlier, we are going to reduce the rates like mad for those who join us in our webinar. It's coming up soon. So come on, get out of the basement and join us on stage. You know you deserve it.